Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33, teachings for your past, present and future. Good morning, everyone. It is the 29th of April here in Auckland, New Zealand. How are you all this morning? If you're listening to this on a Monday, we are transitioning into May, the 5th month of the year. And if you're listening to this on the Beacon app or on YouTube or on Spotify, please don't forget to like, tag, subscribe, share, let people know that this app exists. It really helps me create more resources for you to make the app a one-stop shop for you that is a minimal cost to be able to help you progress your soul, manage your stress levels, enhance your intuition, and just help you in your day-to-day life. I wish I had the app when I was going through my spiritual journey, and still am, obviously, because I'm just like everybody else on a journey as well. I'm looking forward to recapping this last week with you, and also just kind of like the month of April, because we need to always learn from the past, let go of it, heal it, to be able to move forward and keep progressing ourselves. As we move through the recap, just have a think about how this month has been for you. It's been a challenging month, hasn't it? There's been a lot of things that have come up to make us break old patterns, to really look at where our loyalty lies, people having to pick sides in some degree. For me, it's been in quite a big way, but it all works out in your favor when people show you who they really are, isn't it? And I set the Monday mantra last week as, my home is where I am safe, I nurture and take care of it. My home is where I am safe, I nurture and take care of it. Now, I have to tell you, this was a really hard one for me to apply, because I was feeling, again, collective, my own, this instability in my body with the ailments that I was telling you about last week, and also just the feelings of needing to process and heal more of our ancestral trauma, soul trauma, the traumas of my clients, in order to feel safe. And so I was forced to find those areas and come back to a place of wanting to nurture rather than sabotage or destroy or whatever it was. And I was seeing this, and obviously because I'm picking up things on a collective level, not necessarily on a individual level. Your home, and it was Earth Day last week as well. I hope you all went and took some time to read that article on Good Magazine here in New Zealand. You can just Google it, Good NZ, and find the article that I wrote, because there's a spiritual meaning. We're here on Earth for more reasons than what we think. And so our home is not just our physical dwelling, it's our body, it's the people around you, it's what makes you feel safe. And whatever you call home was up for review, and it kind of still is going into this week. So what is home to you? Who is home to you? And how are you feeling in the last week? I know it's been school holidays here in New Zealand, so people's homes have been full with children. If you are in that category of life or in that stage of your life, for me, it was more about repairing my version of home, reviewing my version of home, coming to a new place of what home really means to me. The potential of the full moon that we had was creating this space in order to come back to what is most important. And I kind of felt it all week, this time to really look at how we can create security within ourselves, with who we are with, who we call as friends, who we call as family, all of that. But I did notice that as we got towards the end of the week, there was a little bit more lightness, not necessarily lightness that everything is amazingly disappeared. I still had a lot on my mind, but there was a lot more clarity. I was getting information throughout the week, learning from my clients, learning from spirit guides, and of course the people in my life who were giving me information without really knowing they were giving me information. And so over the weekend I was able to nurture and care for the different areas of my life that needed it in order for me to feel safe and for me to feel secure. Now, Spirit did mention interventions and encounters. Okay, look, those of you listening and those of you who had sessions with me, you know how I operate. I am a human being. I have gifts that evolve and change and get deeper every year. I have been having a lot of extraterrestrial interventions, and personally, and also the clients that seem to be seeking me out are coming with extraterrestrials as their spirit guides, as they're coming through. And I can tell by the activity that I'm having that these extraterrestrials are here to show us and give us clarity. And this is part of the interventions and encounters that I had. In terms of clients that I had last week, now I do notice certain patterns with themes. Now, while I don't remember specifics, because I just remember stories sometimes that I really think are fascinating, everyone who meets me or who I see, I can tell immediately who they are. And, I very rarely get clients who talk a lot in sessions. They just want to talk and talk and talk. But that tells me something about a person because they haven't come to listen. They've come to talk about what they want to talk about. And for me, that defeats the purpose of coming to see me because I'm getting information and I'm having to rebut and intervene for you to have that encounter that you are looking for. So the message here is, sure, I talk a lot here in the Monday Mantras because I'm meant to talk to you, but I actually spend a lot of time in silence, listening to the encounters, listening to the interventions, and making sure that I'm understanding what's here for me, what's next for me, giving me the clarity that I need. And these are the poignant moments that we cannot waste. We need to see what information is coming to us at the time that we need it. And if you're talking too much and you are not listening, you are not going to receive what you need to receive. It makes me laugh when people come to me and they think that I'm going to be talking about what car they should be driving or whatever. My work is serious work. It's going to get in there whether you realize it or not because I can feel it in my body and dislodge things that you are going to need to consider and think about. And I get these lessons in my own life because Spirit is my main teacher. They're going to come in and dislodge things from myself so that I can teach you from a place of experience and knowledge, not just receiving wisdom. I walk my talk. What were the poignant moments that came up for you last week that helped you build your confidence if you choose to see it that way? Because even when we receive information that is challenging or that is confronting, you can actually use that information as power. And you have to remember that as we go into the energy this week. You will start to see the right path and the right door has opened for you. I absolutely saw it, even though there was challenges in my mind about how I was going to, whether I can trust this door, whether this door was going to lead me to more good. But I knew that if I could get out of the way of myself, and if you can get out of the way of yourself, the door is the right door, the path is the right path, and we just need to trust the decisions that we're making and the information that we're receiving. You are not alone. I think this is such an important message for all of us. Like I said, I've never in my life thought about aliens or extraterrestrials. It's not been my thing, but we're not alone. And it's not in a bad way. It's not like we're so naive to think that we're the only people or beings here on earth. We're surrounded. And those of us that flit in and out of victim energy, those of us who choose to live in it and see everything as an obstacle and as a hurdle, there are things coming in now to be able to weave in between our lives to give us that sense of independence and power and interdependence in working from a place of being empowered from our life experiences. It's really easy to take knocks and stay down there. We need to take the knocks and build it right back up again. I have my pity parties too, but actually one of the many reasons I love my work is that I can't stay in a pity party for too long because I've got people to work with and messages to channel and frequencies to bring in to change your vibration. Find that ability to use your life experiences as power to move through nurturing safety, nurturing home, really looking at who and what is loyal to you. Your skills give you strength, knowing what you are good at, knowing what you are working towards, giving that your full attention to ensure its success. That's going to be a big message again going through to May, because May is this time of new projects and things that are going to be coming in. And if you've been feeling like you're being just burdened by a lot of things, this is because you're starting to recognize them, and these distractions are going to be moving away so you can really focus on what or who you are meant to be committed to. I think, I've been seeing a lot of, ego issues, and I've been feeling it in my own self, and I'll be questioning my ego. Is this my ego? Do I need to be concerned about this? Do I need to monitor this? But when you move the ego aside, you're going to be left with sometimes some challenging things to decide. Am I going to be focusing on this or that? But let me tell you, this is something that I'm going to be talking about a bits at a time, so I'm not sitting here for 3 hours talking to you. But if you are someone that's in a relationship, if your relationship is not working, your career is not going to work out, your business is not going to work out. Everything is working together now. So you need to know that you're committed to the most important things. And these two things, one is reflecting the other. Another message before we go into this week's energy. There is progress being made on a deep level of being who you are and fulfilling your soul purpose. And these can be testing experiences. But the great thing is when we have testing experiences, once we're through, there is such a great reward. And I always know that in my own life. Sometimes I can go through really challenging things and I'm like, oh my God, aliens, take me to another planet. But when it's through, it's like you can see the gifts, that the space that it's created. For example, when someone has come into your life and then they leave it because they've shown you who they really are, or you've decided to cut them off or whatever, it leaves you with this beautiful space to be able to grow and nurture and build a bridge. As we move through the week, I was talking about, in the micro Monday lessons that I put up, just brief videos, looking at what that homely feeling is, whatever you call home, because a lot of people that I'm meeting, especially those who have that extraterrestrial energy around them, sometimes they really struggle in their bodies. I was seeing everything from infidelity last week to extraterrestrials to addictions, eating disorders, people who have manipulated. Oh, this is interesting, and it goes back to something I said a week ago or 2 weeks ago. The decisions that we are making are building our karma. If you go in and try and destroy people's relationships or manipulate people or use people, even if it's from a lifetime before, it's accumulating karma. So we need to make the right decisions that are going to have loving boundaries but not hurt people or tear people down. And those feelings, those people are not home. You are being asked to move those distractions through. Even what I'm being told now is, I think I spoke to somebody where Spirit was giving me information about business deals coming up in the future. So this might be something that you need to hear if you're in business. We can't sometimes just take the easy road when it comes to anything, because that doesn't exist. We can't bypass the lessons. And if someone comes and offers you something that's too good to be true, you need to look at whether you're signing a deal with the devil, okay? Because someone might say, I can make you millions of dollars in X amount of time, but who are they and what are their true intentions? Where is that coming from? This is something that you need to look at. The Two of Cups reversed was what I saw in my third eye when I was recording last week. And again, this was about getting that frequency through to you, where we're looking at what we're committed to, what is most important to create our world, what creates safety for us, what do we need to realign ourselves if we've fallen off course. We all fall off course sometimes. We just need to know what the course is so that we can pull back onto that path. Creating our world and what home means to us from our heart. Really, I was watching some YouTube video a few days ago, and the man was saying, he was a man in his late 70s, and he was saying, I let the universe take care of the scores. So if someone's done something bad to me or whatever, he said, I don't focus on that. He said, I focus on how I can love more. And this again is creating from the heart. This is your dream that you want to put all the value that you place on superficial things into this true, pure dream, because this is what's going to sustain you for the long term. The Masters card came up. I think on this day that I pulled it, I can't remember now because this is just the nature of my work. I wrote this that day when I picked the card, but I wrote this around, there's been this obvious theme with the cards picked. It's been like sacred and masters. It's been those kind of cards over the last month. But the way that I was told to describe this message with the Masters card was that we're going through some sort of education system, a soul education in which we are graduating and moving through lessons or levels like a tertiary qualification. And interventions are coming in to upgrade us, even if they don't seem like it, because through knocks in life, through challenges, we upgrade, we learn. Even otherworldly beings, which is the extraterrestrials that I've been communicating with and feeling them around, and spirit guides have been coming in, making themselves seen, because they're telling us, or telling me, you're ready to start receiving this frequency now for the people that I'm healing and for myself. You will be picking this up, this intervention energy, as part of your soul upgrade. If you are a sensitive person, you'll still be picking it up anyway, even if you're not, you just won't be so aware of it. That Masters card came up to remind us that we are learning to master our life. And once you do that, you will always know how to come back to a place of feeling grounded and safe, even after things have been rocked and shaken. Learning to nurture the lessons as opportunities, because knowledge is power to create from. I know that I rocked many people's boats with the sessions we had last week, because it was on that tail end of that full moon. People who were coming to see me, we were going to get in there and tell you what the soul spiritual truth is. And some of you will be left with like, what do I do now? You need to wait for that to settle and allow the frequency to come in that is going to bring you back to that state of egoless safety. Because I was noticing, I think what I was trying to tell you before I started talking about this card, I think I had someone on this day that was very highly educated, but the spiritual truth was something that was needing to be dealt with in the personal life. And that's what I was saying. We can have lots going on. We can be the most educated person and the smartest person and the most beautiful person, but everything is working together. It's like everything is working together. So it's really important that you're not looking at your relationships in isolation to your business or work. The health of everything is coming together, like the world, like the yin and yang. Lots to process there. The 12-year cycle. Okay, another thing I learned about this as I was going through the week is that I think I was talking to someone and I said that their child was 12, I believe. And so that's the other part of it that I'm going to ask you. What were you doing when you were 12? Where were you? What was going on in your life? I actually know what was happening at that time in my life, and I can see how how I felt at that time is a reflection of what I'm feeling right now. And this 12-year cycle was, the way Spirit reminded me to tell you was through, we're at the year of the dragon, and then the Chinese zodiac starts again. It's like that 12-year cycle. But there's something with that. 12 years ago, when you were 12, that number was really important to review for last week with the full moon as things were coming up to clear. Then we had the extended meaning of the Monday mantra. Our home is changing. It has been rocked at some point and it has been threatened. If we think about that in terms of the world, earthquakes, floods in Dubai, war, those kind of threats, but also our physical home. If we have, developed ailments or disease or mental health issues, it's like something's been rocked. There's trauma in there, and we must find a way to nurture it back to stay safety. back to health and connection. We must find a way to nurture it back to safety, health, connection. And now is the time to create and ground into home. I can spend my whole life up in the clouds, but this is why I come back and do very human things as much as possible to be home here also, not just home up there. The season that we are in is calling us to feel safe and connected. We have more clarity now of how we can use any disorder. If you've got a disorder in your body, in your mind, or you're feeling disordered around you, and I'm getting a headache now as I'm talking about this, we have to find our home again. And remember, in relationships with anybody, there are ebbs and flows. Sometimes we all feel together, and sometimes we're apart, and sometimes we're whatever. But this is where we need to come back to that place of safety, health, and connection. Connections are changing, and more frequencies are coming in from those other worldly beings to enlighten us on what we don't need in our lives anymore, and to focus on what we are meant to nurture. Remember, I'm always here for you. There is many ways to connect with me, and the easiest and best ways are through personalized meditations, which many of you have and love. They take me a long while to do them because I'm literally recording the frequency and vibration that comes through me, but also giving you those verbal reminders with what you need, and also mini readings if you're needing brief guidance. Mini readings are not for big questions because that requires a whole level of analysis. Mini readings are like if you just need some guidance and some help on what's present for you at the moment or whatever. That's what they're used for. And remember, the app is only $60 a year. I keep the app platform off the app stores, otherwise I'd be charging about $25 a month, but it's only $60 a year, and Kieran's the person to contact at soul33@gmail.com. Go on a wait list. It is always the right time to see me. I'm not someone that you need to see often because you need to get on with your own life and progress yourself. You don't need guidance all the time. You need to use your own navigation system with the tools that I create or the shifts that I give you when I do see you. Okay, we're making a transition to May. So before I came online, I asked Spirit to show me 2 cards in my third eye of what I needed to tell you. And when they showed me, I was like, aren't these contradictory cards? But they actually make sense. The first card that they showed me was the 2 of Cups, and the second card was the 3 of Swords. And I'm going to read you the Monday mantra and just see what naturally comes out of my mouth. But the Monday mantra for this week: the power is in my hands. I have nothing to lose. The power is in my hands. I have nothing to lose. We are making a transition into this new month, and new energy is coming in to help us with our soul progression. If you look in the mirror, would you see someone with power or someone who is powerless? Now, I feel like this is where the 2 of Cups energy comes in, because the 2 of Cups shows a couple, masculine and feminine energies. It doesn't matter who or what you're in a relationship with, or whether you're not even in a relationship, this still applies. It's about partnership. It's about the attraction. And the mirror image is what I'm seeing right now. This is why I've given you Owl in the Mirror as one of your homework exercises to do this week. And if you are seeing a mirror image of you in the mirror, can you see your power, or are you seeing your weakness? April has been a month, so I'm looking back now again just to remind you, April has been a month of reevaluating things. It's been a month of being independent and then seeing how we can be interdependent. But it's all been connected back to loyalty. We haven't been starting anything new, but we've been looking at what we offer and making the space for it by the things that come up to clear. We have the ability to progress through to May feeling like we are gaining traction, but being really conscious about what we're doing and why we're doing it. We don't want to get to the end of our lives and go, everything has just flown by and I didn't really even know what I was doing or why I was doing it. And I was listening to a podcast a few days ago, and I was thinking, wow, this man, even though he's not a spiritual person, he's not marketing himself as a spiritual person, he was actually saying what I'm about to say in a minute. It's like we need time to be able to process what we're doing. And we want to lean into what we want to create. Life is too short to be living loyal to things and people that are not loyal to you. And in this first week of May, it's really about what we are seeing around us as this mirror image. So if you're looking at your partner, or you're looking at your child, or you're looking at your friend, or you're looking at yourself, what do you see? What are you seeing as a reflection of you? Because everything on some level that we receive in our lives is a reflection of us. And for me, it's a reflection of the unconscious versions of us also. So Two of Cups, the couple holding the cups, and they are unified. And that's the energy we want to bring in, unification. There has been so much information to process. This is why my mind has been so full. And it's, we're already almost halfway through the year, and you may be feeling overwhelmed, but there's going to be more information, but it's going to be giving you the missing piece that you want to help you back yourself and be sure of what you want. This week, you want to look out for that missing piece. Remember, with the work I do, it's soul progression. It's not soul altogether all at once. You're going to get bits dug out, and then you're going to be left wondering, what am I going to do? What does that mean? How is that going to happen? You need to let things unfold. And this is something that requires patience, trust, and just being in the natural flow, looking at what is mirroring you in life, through the people, through where you are, what you're attracting, all of that. This is where I was going with when I was talking about the podcast I was listening to. Spirit had actually said to me, lighten your workload. And so I have this week, taking a small holiday if you can, for a few hours of alone time, if that's what you can manage, even if it's an hour, just something, making that conscious effort of having some physical space where you can, because you need to listen. Talking and doing all the time is not going to help you find the missing pieces. This is what interested me about the Two of Cups energy and the Three of Swords energy that they showed me. Power struggles might come in this week in some way, trying to find your power again, standing up for yourself where necessary and ensuring you're being heard. You may find yourself walking away or leaning into what needs to be done without resistance but with power. So if we look at that in relation to the Three of Swords, the Three of Swords is feeling hurt, feeling pain, feeling like being stabbed in the back, my heart's hurting. But this is wounds that are being inflicted because the intent, and here I'm getting the lightheadedness again. So what Spirit's telling me now is any trauma and wounds that you have in your body with these three swords, they're actually going in through the back of the heart right now. So I want you to feel the swords being pulled out of your back, because that's what I'm feeling, and that frequency is going out to you. It's like mirroring of that pain is going to be shown to you, but this is where it's being pulled out of your back. That's why we've got the polarity of the cards of this unification, but also the pain disappearing, and the hurt that you've been feeling on some level is now starting to dissipate. So look out for power struggles, and whether you're going to resist it and walk away, or whether you are going to complement, because Spirit said contribute to balance. Contribute to balance and complement the situation. Choose team players where you share the power, where you're not trying to control or them controlling you. Free yourself of the unworthiness. That's what's also one of the swords coming out of your back right now, right just the back of your heart. Free yourself of the unworthiness that you don't deserve peace and love in your life. And you can do that without hurting others. You can do that without forcing power struggles. Share the power. Share the power is a big message this week. You've got nothing to lose. There is an energy of choosing a new way to be. If you don't like what you see, it's a mirror image of some part of you, and it might not be a conscious part. This is where you need to pull yourself away, whether it's for a moment, for a few days, whatever, and have some time so that you can actually see what you need and have the power to change it, because there's nothing to lose. There's a reminder for you to know what you are here on earth to do. So you're going to receive more information about your purpose and whom you wish to do that with. It's time to feel secure in who we are and worthy of what we want to receive. Oh, my back feels so much more relieved now. So we're just going to take a moment. So close your eyes, and we're going to give you now the energy of unity. Unity, uniting with all that feels safe, all that feels like home, and having the mirror image back to you of having this attraction of all that you want, and allowing those swords in your back, the three things that might represent three different aspects of your life. And you'll know what they are as you go through the week, but those swords from behind your heart are releasing your pain so that you can start attracting the true mirror image of you, which is a peaceful, loving being that knows that everyone deserves to be loved, everyone deserves to have peace, including you. It's a lot happening, and we're in May, so we want to progress without feeling like there's a huge amount of urgency, but also knowing that we're doing the best that we can. Your Monday mantra, you'll have actually a new meditation this week for the month of May, which you can do as many times as you want, every day, once a week, whatever you want. But your Monday mantra this week is, the power is in my hands. I have nothing to lose. The power is in my hands. I have nothing to lose. Have a great week. See how your Three of Swords comes up. See how you unify with people. See where the power struggles are.